Welcome back to the Napoleonic Stacking Channel. I'm the Napoleonic Stacker, and in this video, we're going to talk about Canadian silver dollars. Stay tuned. So what you see before you here is primarily older Canadian silver dollars, and we're going to go through these here in just a moment. But basically, after 1967, the Canadian government took all the silver out of their circulating coins. These coins actually have an 80% silver content, and after 1967, Canada only put silver into their coins that they sent out for collectors, and they actually dropped the silver content to 50%. Most of the Canadian dollars that were issued were basically made to commemorate specific events. So the first coin we're going to look at is one of the most popular and also the longest running in the Canadian dollar series, which is the Voyager series coin. Now, this coin was issued to commemorate King George V's Silver Jubilee in 1935, and it was struck in silver through 1966. The Voyager Dollar depicts a French-Canadian fur trader and an indigenous man in a canoe. You can also see the northern lights or the aurora borealis kind of behind the tree line there. And it also depicts bundles of fur, and you can see the initials on one of them is HB for Hudson Bay Company, which is a fur trading company. And basically the reverse was designed by Emmanuel Hahn. And this is one of the most popular coins in Canada. And I'd love to pick up more of these. You can see here on the front, you've got Queen Elizabeth II. But originally, these were issued with King George V on the obverse. The next silver dollar we're going to look at was struck in 1939. And it was designed to commemorate the royal visit to Canada. So King George VI, along with Queen Elizabeth, actually visited in 1939. And you can see here on the front, you've got the Canadian Parliament building, and it shows $1. And then on the front here, you can see it's got King George VI. In 1949, Canada introduced a new silver dollar that was to commemorate the entrance of Newfoundland into the Confederation of Canada. The coin depicts the Matthew, which is the ship on the reverse, and it was commanded by John Cabot, who had his first voyage to Newfoundland in 1497. And this is probably my favorite Canadian coin because I love the ship on the front. And if I can hold it steady here, you can really get a good look. And there's just so much detail in the ship. And you can see the sails there. That's really cool. And then on the back, again, it's got King George VI. And I have another one here that's actually got some toning. Let's take a look at this one. And I may actually like this one a little better. The toning actually gives the ship more definition, and you can kind of see more details in the coin. So I love any coins with ships on them. If I see one, I typically have to get it. But these are a little bit of a harder coin to get as far as Canadian silver dollars goes, and they typically carry a little bit of a higher premium. But definitely one of my favorites. So this next one is the British Columbia Totem Dollar, and it was designed to commemorate the centennial of British Columbia. And it depicts a totem in the foreground here, and in the background you've got the mountains. And an interesting fact about British Columbia, it's the only place in Canada where indigenous people actually built totem poles. And it's rumored that when this coin was issued, that Native Canadians didn't like it because it contained elements that signified death. So this wasn't a tremendously popular coin with Native Canadians, but I think it's really cool. And it depicts some of their indigenous art, basically. And I love anything Native American related. And this certainly fits the bill. And you can see here on the obverse, we've got Queen Elizabeth II. Now, this silver dollar commemorates the 100th anniversary of the Charlottetown Conference, where basically Canadians got together to discuss the Confederation that ultimately led to the creation of the Dominion of Canada. And you can see here, it's got some, you've got some French symbols there. You've got a rose, you got a clover, and some other kind of little thing down. It looks almost like a little angel. And this was issued in 1964. Of the Canadian dollars, this particular one tends to be the least popular, and they didn't seem to circulate very well, so you can actually find these in BU condition relatively cheap. And again, on the back, you've got Elizabeth II. And I have another one of these. It's not in as great a condition, but still pretty nice. You can actually see a little bit of a cartwheel there. And Queen Elizabeth. So, very cool. So this last silver dollar was actually part of a whole coin series that the Canadian government did in 1967 to commemorate the Canadian Centennial, basically the 100th anniversary of Canadian Confederation. And the star of the show that year was the Canadian Goose. And this oftentimes is people's most favorite Canadian silver dollar. The Goose design is just so iconic and beautiful. You can see so much detail in the goose's wings there, and it's just a really nice silver dollar. And on the front, you've got Queen Elizabeth. And a lot of these you can actually get in proof-like condition because, kind of like the last coin, they didn't always circulate as much. And see this one here, again, it's in very nice condition. There's the Queen. And I also have one that is toned. So take a look at this one. This has got some interesting toning on it. And then on the back, or the obverse rather, you can see the Queen's face. Just a really iconic design. And I'm just kind of at a toss-up as far as which Canadian dollar is my favorite because I really love the Goose. I've got more ganders of geese than I do the other Canadian silver dollars. And I plan to pick up more of them. Now, I'm also going to show you some other coins that were issued that year. Most of them were in silver. So for 1967, they basically issued coins that all depicted different animals you could find in Canada. And as you know, on the dollar is the goose. This is the wolf, and it's the Canadian 50-cent piece. It breaks down to about 0.3 troy ounces of silver. It is actually 80% silver. And there's the Queen on the back, or the front rather. And this depicts a wolf. And we also have the dime. This is the Canadian 10-cent piece. And it's issued in 1967, and it's got a salmon on it, 10 cents. And this again is also a silver coin. Queen Elizabeth II on the front. We also have the 25-cent piece, which depicts a bobcat. And my daughter loves the bobcat when we go to the nature center. Basically, they're native to the United States as well, and it's one of her favorite animals. And this one's 1967. You've got the Queen. And some of the coins that were issued that were not in silver, which were still part of the series, we've got this one, which depicts a rabbit. This is the Canadian hare, and this is their nickel from that year. See if we can get into focus. My camera's not working well for me today. There we go. And then you see there's the Queen, and you've got the 1-cent piece, which has got a Canadian dove. And this is just a really beautiful 1-cent piece, I think. Yeah, I love the entire series of coins they issued in 1967. They're just very beautiful. So there you have it. I'm tempted after making this video to go and buy more Canadian silver dollars if I can find them at the right price. Here in the United States, depending on where you get them from, you can either be paying a really high premium or the premiums can be pretty good. So if you're looking to pick up Canadian silver, just make sure that you are getting it as close to spot as possible. And if you want to pick up some of the more special designs, like this one here with the ship on it, I would say it's probably worth paying a little more just to get something like this. But that's just my opinion. If you love Canadian silver dollars and enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe. We're getting so close to 1,000 subscribers, and any support you can provide me will be greatly appreciated, and I thank you so much. So until next time, Napoleonic Stacker, signing out.